Hi, my friends and family. My name is Trey Smith. And in this video, I invite everyone who watches this and listens, including myself, to question and examine the idea. Is my thought or belief, on that topic, dark side mind control or CIA programming? This video is called The Women's Elimination Movement and the Mythos of Our Vampire Patriarchy. We are already one with God. Baby, it's all I know. Most of us all grew up with this same inverted media that it was just Satan's shit show. Now can't you see the inverted ones, the dark side trying to steal it all? I still haven't seen the sun for weeks because of space fence and draconian control of the entire planet. So take these broken wings and learn to fly again, so free. And can't you hear the voices sing? Take these broken wings. The women's elimination movement and the mythos of our vampire patriarchy. We are already one with God. We were all made in the image of our master slaver Lucifer. After these powerful usurper god vampires, junior gods, Yahweh, or the demiurge, or Enki, whichever you want to call it, shut down the stargates around 26,000 years ago and began forcing conceptual inversions through ego and the invention of human narcissism. Roughly 26,000 years ago, they modified our DNA, completed mind control. To complete the mind control, they unwired 96% of our brain, and lately have told us that's junk. It's junk DNA. Slaves are not allowed to use that part of the brain because that's the part you would use for ascension, enlightenment, and healing. Slaves are only allowed to use the 44%. Of course, as I've said before, or you might have heard, guess what? Several years after an undercover assignment as a Playboy bunny, Gloria Steinem and the CIA invented the modern, what Rush Limbaugh called man haters, women, and what I call the women's elimination or women's liberation movement. Roughly 5 to 7, 10 years before I was born, it was, they wanted to get women to pay into the taxes, to work hourly wage jobs, and, pay into the tax system was one of the reasons why they did that. So you got to remember, all of the dark side's power and all of their ideas are based on, guess what? Disrespectful, fearful or violent ideas, or self-loathing, or what Lisa Renee calls the pestilence program. Well, the idea for this video in part came from, I was reading Wes Penra's papers on academia.com, the one called The Fifth Level of Learning. He's talking about the Indian ancient Vedas, and he said there's roughly hundreds of mentions of alien spacecraft in the oldest scriptures that humans still follow these days that I know of. So he mentioned how this ancient idea of becoming pure, to be made one with God, it's always been the goal of all the gurus and to teach you how to be one with God, and all of the New Age movement. The goal was to be, the goal of the spiritual bypassing too, is to teach you how to be one with God. From then to the law of one, he even brings this, which interesting, might change my view on this, is that it was a hijacked, like he said that Ra is even one of these usurper gods, that it was hijacked intention to make you one with Lucifer, Yahweh, Enki, or the usurper junior gods, who are obviously genetic experimenters who don't, they said Yahweh limited our lifespan to 120 years. They don't want us to live long, and prosper and remember our past lives so that we can evolve. They want us as energy. There is no respectful, original, patriarchal God the Father, hierarchy, male God. Respect will never have a place in the dark. Think about it. Look at the Dracos, look at the reptilians, look at the Anunnaki, look at the anger of the orthodoxy that follows them. Look at their psychic violence and their self-masochism, self-flagellation in their conversations and beliefs. And you will see that you must reject all patriarchy. It's all a sick reptilian-based ideology. From digital clocks to scientism, hormonal fake IDs. Our AI parasite overlords are about false everything, okay? This is what, or really, the devil is really the source of nihilism. They're really nihilists. They have no beliefs, okay, except for me and killing and domination. Striving and purifying to become one. To become one with the dogma and ideology of the bloodthirsty patriarchal God through dogma, cults, and inverted ideas only ensures that your soul will find a place in the 144,000 souls capacity for memory wipe, permanent soul recycling plant through the Saturn Moon Matrix. And guess what? Femininity is, of course, this is one of the ideas they bring forth. The devil is brought forth and forced on us all. Femininity is bad for fine young women, but it's okay for men. This is obviously a Luciferic inversion. God the Father is guess what? Your God the Father is a reptilian geneticist, false creator, a master hologramic architect, a powerful mind control artist with no soul, extremely amounts of money, billions of dollars and stacks of gold, and militaries, but no soul. It is the heart of a black hole. Pure selfishness, ego, survival consciousness, only the little me, and that's all they think about. That's all they want you to think. Low level, vampiric, narcissistic, consumed. Narcissistic consciousness says, I need blood, is what the Divine Father thinks. That's what Yahweh, that's what Lucifer always says. I need blood, is what the Divine Father thinks. I need more souls to steal. What is the sacred, divine, masculine principle in reality if it wasn't hijacked? Well, of course, you could say physical strength and self-defense, protection of the earth. Those like myself that feel compelled to protect the earth, the sky, even though I've already lost this battle. I'm still speaking out. Self-defense of the protection of the earth, the mata, or physical earth, and all organic living beings, the impulse to protect and action on that impulse, the protection of freedoms. For example, the way Ron DeSantis has been a very strong, positive, masculine force in protecting our freedoms. The maintenance of free will principle. Okay, this is up to the man within every man and woman. You have to stand up and not be a pushover. The dark side of the feminine principle. Standing up against tyranny, hunting for food, obviously, warding off predators, obviously, physically protecting your human family. That's all intuitive. And in the dark side, it means elimination of flirtation with the unwanted. When you obey Lucifer, you don't ever have to. You never, in the New Age, in the women's elimination movement, there'll be no guys like me that ever get to flirt with any beautiful, fertile women, as long as they believe in that movement. They'll just cuss me out. Man's place is not an expendable worker bee or a pawn soldier. Woman's place is not in the kitchen, the bedroom, or the hive mind. Okay, guess what? In the future and the now, parental roles can be androgynous or mixed up. The Mr. Mom they can be exchanged to some degree. Okay, not to entire degrees. Ideally, the children need a man father and a mother. But guess what? Real men and women get to choose respectfully their roles. Discursive thoughts is the masculine energy when it's, exploring thoughts, exploration of new physical places like like finding a new place to live, finding a new place to build, and exploration of new realms of thought. There are positive ways of using the masculine energy of thought or yang energy. Enki has provided constant reinforcement of the idea that man has to be a slave, controlled by the box, a mental, emotional, spiritual coward, emotional weakling. And sex for a man, of course, is always to throw away the seed. If they're dumb enough to believe this idea, or homosexual, or be a transsexual, or hedonistic, misogynistic person that woman abuser. In essence, all of divine masculinity and all of divine femininity have been attempted to be buried in the obscene, inverted, alien patriarchy's lies. The women's liberation, and later the woke movement, which some say theoretically was started to counteract the "We Are the 99% movement" that brought light to what was actually really happening around 2010 during the engineered stock market crash, second stock market crash. The woke movements were a modernization of these shitty ideas. Okay, women's elimination movement was about convincing women that they wanted to be men. Females who believe in male superiority, yet often hate men this 3 generations deep here in this college, if they believe it. So they want to be men, yet they hate men. They hate heterosexuals if they believe in this ideology. So the man becomes, just what the reptilians thought of as women as someone to be used as a breeder for the seed or the slave. So women would also be just good wage box slaves and not desire or believe having children or rearing them was good. This is one of the main primary objectives to this thinking. Considering breeders, they call them breeders in the women's elimination movement, considering breeders as a problem and heterosexuality as a sickness, was promoted and accepted for 40 years now, before Drag Story Hour has even been brought into the equation. Now, medical professionals don't know what a woman is. How as convenient is that for the dark side? Separating individuation from biology is pure Luciferianism, of course. Do whatever you want as long as you don't identify as a human and reproduce and have self-respect. And it's also pure masochistic mental trash, really. You were born into one or the other sex, but internally you can become one. The tantric marriage is here. You can become one androgynous Christ being within, but to really actualize it, to reproduce, to fully flower, most of us need heterosexual monogamy. But you were born into one or the other sex, but you will be forgiven for this huge mistake if you identify as anything other than a heterosexual breeder. This was all the ancient Luciferian sexual misery programming, bolstered and modernized into a stronger, sicker plowing of all organic identities in the area. The vicinity of Santa Cruz, California, for example. You must accept the lordship of your dark masters and their inverted ways, balderdash. And guess what? Hubristic, epidemic bullshit. Acceptance of transsexuals as women and eliminating womanhood through denigrating the most sacred part of physical life. The woman's body are real, altruistic flesh suit creators. The divine feminine goddess who obviously literally imports spirits temporarily into flesh suits through having a child is the obvious collective hive mind goal of the fake god, patriarchal, alien, reptilian invaders. Reject their inversions. The Christ is the respectful goddess within always, and as it was and always shall be. If you enjoyed this commentary, this talk, click click subscribe, hit the notification bell for more. Follow me on Odyssey and create a great day, my family. I love you. You can do it.